Are you lost? This is a gated community. Your kind usually uses the service entrance around back. That's how it started, not a hello, not a welcome to the neighborhood, but that, and I'd barely been in the house 2 days. The paint on my new driveway wasn't even scuffed yet from backing in my dream car, a red Lamborghini Aventador. Engine ticking in the sticky afternoon heat when I turned to see her, arms crossed, eyes narrowed, face pinched into a permanent state of disapproval. If you've ever seen a bulldog squeezed into yoga pants and a t-shirt plastered with a dozen cartoon chihuahuas, you get the picture. Her blonde hair looked like it had been shellacked with a whole can of spray, and the way she glared at my car, you'd think it personally insulted her grandmother. I'm standing there, corporate as ever slacks, buttoned down, still sweaty from my last meeting, just trying to process the sheer nerve. I tried to kill her with kindness. "Hi there," I said. "Just moved into number 42. My hand hung in the air, ignored. She glanced from me to the house to the car back to me. "That thing," she spat, jabbing a stubby finger at my LAMBO, "is not compliant with the community aesthetic guidelines." I chuckled. Wrong move. Her face turned red as my car. "I am the head of the homeowners association," she said, puffing up. "I have a master key to every property here. That includes driveways, theory, community property during daylight hours for aesthetic review." She rattled a massive ring of keys, like a medieval jailer, and stepped right up to my car door. "I need to inspect the interior for non-compliant modifications." I just stared. A master key for a privately owned car? She jammed a key into the lock, metal scraping, nails on chalkboard ugly. "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" I shouted, rushing over. "Please, step away from my car." She rattled the key harder. "This is an HOA-issued master key, supposed to open all community-accessible fixtures. This is an illegal, non-compliant lock." I grabbed her wrist, firm but gentle, pulling her hand away from my paint job. "There's no such thing as an HOA master key for a car. That's my property." She ripped away, eyes wide, clutching her wrist like I'd snapped it. "Assault. I'm calling the police. You'll be out by nightfall, you thug." And she actually dialed 911, hollering about a violent man and a suspicious vehicle. I stood there, next to my 6-figure car in the driveway of my 7-figure house, watching the crazy unfold. No idea it was just the beginning. Sirens cut through the neighborhood so fast it was almost impressive. 2 squad cars, lights blazing, neighbors peeking from behind curtains. This was big excitement for a place where the last scandal was the bake sale running out of scones. Karen, because what else could you call her, was pacing on her lawn, playing damsel in distress for the officers, one young, one older, both sizing up the situation. "He's dangerous, officer. He attacked me. And that car, it's probably stolen. People like him don't just have cars like that." The older cop approached me, calm hand on his belt. "Sir, can you tell me what's going on?" I kept my palms up. No sudden moves. Told him exactly what happened. Karen shrieked across the street. "He's lying. It's in the bylaws." He nodded, asked for my ID and registration. I got them, handed everything over, watched his eyebrows pop just a little when he saw my name. "License, registration, all legit, all mine." "Everything seems to be in order here, sir." Karen was vibrating with rage. "Run the plates. He has a record." "I know it." The officer sighed, about to radio in when I said quietly, "You could call your boss if your concert'll vouch for me." The cop cocked his head. "My boss?" "Yeah, the county sheriff's my brother." I showed him a family photo. Christmas, sheriff's uniform, big grins. The cop's face changed. He handed back my stuff, turned to Karen. "Ma'am, the gentleman is the legal owner of the vehicle. There is no evidence of an assault. I suggest you return to your house." She was stunned. I could feel the hatred radiate from her. As the cops left, I knew right then this was just the start. The quiet after that was almost worse. Every time I checked the mail, I could feel her watching from her blinds, or see her whispering with neighbors. But I just kept to myself, figured she'd lose interest. I was wrong. On Friday, I found a thick envelope taped to my door, so much tape it took off some paint. The letterhead was gold embossed, "Law Offices of Jonathan J. Kingsley ESQ, specializing in community litigation and asset compliance. It was a masterpiece of nonsense, accusing me of flaunting assets to incite feelings of inadequacy and social disruption, and listing remedial actions I needed to complete in 48 hours. These included surrendering a key to my Lamborghini to the HOA for community emergencies, paying a $5,000 fine for auditory pollution, traumatizing her chihuahua, complete with blurry dog photo, and me favorite painting my car, an approved neutral beige. I laughed out loud. This was less a legal document, more a ransom note from the Twilight Zone. But this wasn't just garden variety crazy anymore, turns out. Jonathan J. Kingsley didn't exist in any state bar database. Karen had forged the letter, signed by her nephew, a failed paralegal student. Impersonating a lawyer is a felony in this state. The whole game just changed. I called my brother. He laughed until I got to the community asset clause and the demand to paint my car beige. Then his voice went serious. This is criminal. Don't respond to that letter. Just keep everything as evidence. She'll get worse before she gets better. Document it all. Get cameras. Next, I called my mom, the real power in the family. Let this woman show who she is, my mom said. Sometimes the best way to deal with a skunk is to give it enough room to spray itself. That's when the stickers started every morning. A new neon violation notice on my windshield. Improperly parked vehicle. I was in my own driveway. Unapproved vehicle color. The car was stock red. Excessive tire shine, creating a glare hazard. And me favoriting an uniform grass height under my car. Each sticker took 10 minutes to scrape off. She was relentless. She was documenting every imagined infraction, sending emails, recruiting a small army of neighbors to glare at me. But I never reacted, just documented, scraped, smiled, and drove to work. Things escalated again. Her nephew Squire Kingsley called me at work. I hit record on my phone. The voice on the line was reedy, trying way too hard to sound adult. He read off a list of demands, tripping over the legalese, growing more agitated as I calmly asked which state bar he belonged to. I am not required to disclose, he sputtered, then hung up. I sent the recording to my brother, who called back. His name isn't Jonathan J. Kingsley. It's just Jonathan. 22, flunked out of paralegal school, lives with his mom. It's her nephew. We're building a conspiracy case. Meanwhile, Karen's campaign ramped up. She started whispering rumors, telling anyone who'd listen that I was a drug dealer, that my LAMBO was bought with dirty money, that my activity at all hours was suspicious. She used the HOA newsletter as a weapon, printing thinly veiled warnings about new elements and suspicious vehicles. Some neighbors bought it, others started seeing through her act. My few allies gave me apologetic waves. I kept playing the perfect neighbor mode lawn, polite smiles, zero ammo for her campaign. That's when my secret weaponry mom rolled into town. She brought a pecan coffee cake, a tray of lasagna, and enough charm to thaw an ice age. She worked her way through the block, introducing herself as my son's mother, dropping facts about me and our family, the sheriff brother, the honest upbringing. In 3 hours, she changed the whole mood of the neighborhood. I was suddenly the son of the nice lady with cookies, not the pariah with a flashy car. But Karen doubled down. Another final cease and desist arrived, even more ridiculous than before, citing the Geneva Convention on Neighborhood Disputes. I wish I was kidding. Ordering me to stop having family visits unless pre-approved by the HOA. My dad, a retired forensic accountant, took one look and said, "People this sloppy are sloppy elsewhere." He requested the HOA's financials, which by law, they had to provide. After some legal pressure from a real attorney, see seat on my brother's advice, a fat envelope of 5 years' worth of statements arrived. Dad dug in, and 2 days later called me. "I've got her. It's blatant embezzlement." Turns out the landscaping contract, biggest expense, was paid to a fake company bank account controlled by, you guessed it, Jonathan Kingsley. Karen had been laundering HOA funds through her nephew for years. That would have been enough, but she gave us the perfect public stage. She called an emergency HOA meeting ostensibly to sanction me and vote to have my nuisance vehicle removed. My family came as a unit. My brother, off-duty, my mom with brownies, my dad with a slim briefcase. The meeting was packed. Karen strutted at the podium, launched into a speech about community values, and called for a motion to fine me and remove my car. She asked if I had anything to say. I stood calm as could be. Actually, I do. Before we vote, I'd like to play a recording of the HOA's legal counsel, Jonathan J. Kingsley. I hit play. The room heard her nephew, stumbling over fake legal threats, panicking when asked for his bar number. Gasps, faces turning to Karen. My dad stood and calmly announced the embezzlement, handing out proof to the homeowners. $500,000 paid to a shell company controlled by her nephew, he explained. 5 years of fraud. Chaos erupted. Karen lost the room, melted down, shrieking, swept everything off the podium, then fled out the door into the night. You'd think it'd end there, but 2 nights later, my security camera pinged. I watched as Karen, dressed in black, crept across my lawn, can of neon green spray paint in hand. She approached the LAMBO, shook the can, and at the last moment, looked up, saw the camera's red light, froze, then fled. I had everything on tape. My brother's response, "It's time." The DA's office had all they needed. Forged letters, fake lawyer, dad's audit, the vandalism attempt. But my brother wanted a public ending. We staged a mediation, sent Karen an official letter, making sure she'd bring her nephew to my driveway for a mandated session. I dressed sharp, iPad loaded with the video. When they arrived, her in battle gear, nephew in an oversized suit, I played the video. Their faces went pale. "That's a fake," she screamed. "It's a deep fake." Her nephew started babbling legal threats, sweat pouring down his face. I explained calmly, "This is a felony. The DA is very interested in both your crimes. 5 years of embezzlement, impersonating a lawyer, vandalism." Karen broke. She dropped to her knees on the driveway, wailing. Jonathan's briefcase spilled its contents, scribbled fake legal forms across the asphalt. That's when the sedans pulled up. My brother emerged, flanked by a DA investigator and a state forensic auditor. They arrested Karen and Jonathan right there. The DA's team revealed they'd linked Karen to 5 other HOA, same scam, different towns. She wasn't just a petty bully. She was a professional grifter, finally undone by her own arrogance and a family that refused to be bullied. Word spread like wildfire. Neighbors who shunned me brought cakes, wine, apologies. The HOA was dissolved, rebuilt under honest leadership. The red LAMBO sat gleaming in my driveway, a monument to karma, a local legend. Sometimes a neighbor walks by, shakes their head, and laughs. We all know the story. That car isn't just a car, Anna Marie. It's proof that, in the end, karma, like a Lamborghini, always comes roaring around. So let me ask, where do you stand? Is justice always this messy? Or did Karen get exactly what was coming to her? Drop your wildest HOA stories or your take on this madness below. Let's hear what you think. Is there ever a place for HOAs? Or are they just breeding grounds for power-hungry bullies?